All right. It's literally about 15, 20 minutes later. Just gonna go break into fear like I said it was. I'm not gonna do too much editing, so this is gonna be a single take scenario. Single take scenario. Go ahead and start buffing everybody up. Okay, we got Sao, Heroic Bond. Let's give Uggams symbol. My cleric, unfortunately, still has pretty shitty abjuration. Because he wasn't buffing people for a long time because my druid's buffs were better. I generally only symbol the chanter, the tank, and the cleric. Poor bastards. What else? Sometimes I regrowth. Not going to do it. I'm actually going to put up group MR because for the break-in on fear, there are quite a lot of scarelings. And I don't know if it's an MR-based proc, but you can definitely resist the proc. So I generally try to resist stuff. I'm already wearing resist gear on Flux, so he's 137. Actually going to swap resist gear on Uggams too. These rings here are resist to all. This is MR, and most of the stuff in here is MR. So, Rune Bone Fork. This actually drops me by quite a bit of HP, but such is life. I can get up to 163 MR, which is pretty good. I hate looking at the Rune Bone Fork. What an ugly bastard. It's a real animal. So I'm going to click on Dazak Escape Staff to evac to right here. Saves me a little bit of running. Hopefully fear is not pre-broken. There have been groups in there quite a bit lately. But if it is, I'll kill some stuff anyway. Maybe swap picks if a pick's open. Hitting 8 a few times to get follow to work. That's the half circle of doom you gotta watch out for. By the way, if you want to avoid that, so let's say I'm all autofollow is broken here. If I go behind them too far, they will half circle. Like if I'm this far away and I hit autofollow, they're gonna half circle all the way around the screen, and in a lot of cases that's gonna murder you. But if you get right up right behind them, they will actually reverse direction without moving. See that? So that's how you avoid the half circle of doom. Just watch out. Or cheat and use MQ2 and use stick, and then it will rotate you. This fucking guy. This fucking guy. That bastard is not mezzable, so I like to avoid him a little bit. I am in the habit of keeping my map open all the time because I have not created audio alerts for follow breaking, and so you can see the little green X's for everybody and make sure follow is not broken. Also note that if one of them is over encumbered, he'll get left a little bit behind. We're all sowed, so that mage pet is kind of far behind, but yeah. But you can create an audio alert that actually will sound off every time autofollow breaks. Seems pretty helpful, but you'll find that after setting up something like ISBoxer for several hours, spending more time on it than you need to is not something you relish. Pretty light set of buffs, but fear break-ins are usually not that scary. There's an element of randomness to it that there can be more mobs that are pathed in. In those cases, it's possible to wipe. It definitely is. Hopefully I won't wipe, but never know. I run through, I don't kill these specters because they're so low level that usually only 1 or 2 aggro. And I stop stop once I get to the portal area. I've lost some of the retard characters on autofollow. They've gone into this area. See, that's why it's so tempting to use MQ2, because /stick makes it so that stuff doesn't happen very often. Open my map. But alas. I like to check the mage pet to see if it's killing the specters. Specters would have warped to me, so it looks like they're not aggroed. I usually invis. I don't have any fancy macros for invising, I just invis. For my druid, I leave Uggums because he's got a circle of shadows. Actually leave Maf until the end. Maf needs to have, instead of resurrection, Sunskin up. Group Undead Invis. Sethi's done. We start to cast this. Cast Sunskin. Oops. Oh well, he's not going to have Undead Invis. And neither's this guy, but yeah. Most of them are going to have regular invis. Serath is not invis. Let's do this again. Let's try this one more time here. Unfortunately, different kinds of invis overwrite things. So part of the problem with having halflings, which we haven't talked about, is that they can't leap over little ledges and they get fucked up in auto-follow scenarios, which is too bad, but so I'll show you how I deal with that. It's just to manually swap to them. Swap to the druid, swap to this idiot. And this guy is not invised, so this could go poorly. We'll find out. I usually just hit Alt-1, Alt-1, Alt-1 just to make sure I get to Uggums first, get the auto-follow going, get me to the west wall, get thee to the west wall, and that happens sometimes where they run into the portal like that, screwing up valuable time. This looks pretty clear. I'll check if anybody's in the zone in a moment here. I would have got 3 or 4 aggros, probably, if this was not partially clear at least. Yeah, there's 18 people in the zone. So it's not going to be a full clear. Let me check if there's another pick here. Only instance available, so that's kind of sad. Let's see what's up on track. Usually do not have players up on track here. There's a lot of stuff on track. So what I'm going to show you instead here of like a full clear is, well, first of all, I'll go do, what I like to do is create a half circle around the west wall here. Don't go too close to that building because it's got lots of mobs in it. Same is true of right here. The Tentacle Tormentors are in this little area. I don't like them because they AoE dispel. I try to stay away from them and I don't clear them. But I do try to make this little half circle here and try to get any procs aggro out of the way. See, there's a Turmoil Toad that's going to aggro me. So I create this little half circle around. Surprised it hasn't aggroed yet. Map's got some weird map thing going on here, so let me grab that. So I had Uggums on auto run there, you might have noticed. Oh. Scaling Ink, so I'm going to cast Glamour and Kintaz. And up there you can notice that it's been mezzed. I get everybody assisted on the terminal toad, hit left and right. And I generally spam clinging darkness, hit left and right a little bit more, spam a little bit more clinging darkness. I'll have to fix my hotkeys in a second because this is different than my normal setup. Switch over to my chanter, mezz is scaling again. Get everybody sitting. Right click, get divine light up. Let's take this nice and slow. Make sure loot's all set up properly. Close this map. Let's get the scaling taunted. After this is done, we'll get going here. I generally immediately start nuking if I have a clinging darkness in because clinging darkness is such good aggro. Stand everybody up, sit everybody down, they're all medding. So what I'm going to do is get life tap on Shift E because that's my normal set. And then I'm going to change this to Shift 2 because that's normally what that is for me. So 4 is normally Shift 2. It's just muscle memory. I don't know why it got switched up. It was something to do with virtual any files. Alright, let's continue the half circle. And once I'm sure that this is clear, looks like a group wiped like crazy in here. That's an imp tower. I generally don't pull that fucking imp tower because it's got 1,000 scarelings in it, and boxing and scarelings, even with resist gear, is kind of a nightmare because they can port your group all around. And again, if you're not using a program like MQ2, is something like Make Camp, which allows you to run all your characters back to a central location. If they get ported away, then you're in trouble. Okay, so this looks generally clear. So I do not ever clear fear wholly and completely. So we already have MR up. I never use this. I never use Forlorn Deeds in fear. So what I'm going to put on here is Rune 5 because I have a special way of pulling that involves Koth. Start casting that, invis him, and then get individual invis to undead on the bar for flux. So he's got Rune 5, invis, and invis to undead at the end of this. Swap over to flux, get everybody to stand and everybody to sit so they're medding. Run out here. First I make sure I've got Call the Hero on my bar, and then I've targeted flux. Okay. So if I click on Call the Hero here, it will Koth me. It's a long... Oop! Got ourselves a scareling that's incoming here. I'm going to move Flux back to the group while this guy's essentially doing some taunt business. Alright, we're going to get this going here. You want to get these scarelings and any other mobs that can aggro at the entrance removed from the equation. Generally don't want to let this happen. I wasn't auto-attacking because it's really easy to forget to do that. He's running now. Okay. Make sure this is all never and this is all going to my chanter. Okay, so Chanter's still got Invis, Invis, and Rune on. We're going to stand everybody up, sit everybody back down, and make sure they're all medding. Now, there are a lot of things in Fear that see through double Invis, but it's pretty freaking random what they are. If they're imps, it sucks, because imps, or scarelings I should say, that's what they're called. I just tab C, tab C, tab C for con, and if they're not indifferent, then you know something's bad. Fetid Fiends generally don't see through. Sometimes Turmoil Toads do, sometimes Warrior Wraiths do, and sometimes Scarelings do. Sometimes Amygdalin Knights do. What I like to pull in here... Oop. First of all, I'm starting to appear. Second of all, that thing saw through. So it was a Warrior Wraith that saw through. I keep in fear. I definitely keep an eye on this, this little icon here for whether or not I have aggro. If I have aggro and I'm out in the middle of nowhere, I immediately cough myself. I buy 200 pearls at a time because it's so useful. But it's not a good idea to... So what did I lose? I lost Invis to Undead, so I can just simply recast that. Stand everybody up, sit everybody back down, get everybody medding. And that noise, by the way, was my audio alert for you feel yourself starting to appear, which is helpful if you put that on every tune that you have, because if you're invising yourself and you're running through a dungeon and that happens, you're gonna screw yourself over. So an audio alert is super helpful. So I'm just checking all these things to make sure they're all indifferent. I think this was the, I believe this was the Warrior Wraith that was a problem. Nope. Okay, was it this one? Sometimes they path away, and that's okay. So, and I'm pretty aggressive about this. It takes a little bit of time. What I generally tend to do is single out the invis to undead, or see invis mobs, and then I'll pull them. If Fright is up, he'll death touch you immediately if you get within range. So, oh, here we go. Looks like it probably is that mob. Yeah, so I'm going to grab this mob, or I'm going to try to. That one doesn't see invis. So let's make sure this fucker is targeted. I might get aggro here because I'm so close. Okay, so I'm going to start to cast Dictate. I'm going to start to cast Koth, then I'm going to start to cast Dictate. You'll see what happens here if I do this correctly. Well, I've actually fucked this up, but it still worked. This thing is not supposed to be under here. So let me actually fix this. I think I can hide all these. That hotkey that I've set up separately. This used to be a little bit more... So what I just did is I charmed a mob and then I Kothed. If he's not attacking anything, which is not definitely not guaranteed, he'll come with you and he'll warp, which is really, 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 really helpful. So I've just basically thinned out a see invis mob, if that makes sense. Goblin Gazugi ring myself, swap back to this guy, immediately start to taunt and all that kind of good stuff. Get everybody assisted, hit left and right to get this going. Just because I have full mana most of the time in here, I'm just going to start a sea heal. Just keep spamming Clinging Darkness, go sit this guy down because Dictate costs a lot of mana, and eventually it will add up. Sea heal just landed, sit him down, sit him down, sit him down. I actually want to have haste on myself. Let's get everybody casting here. Click on Uggams, cast complete heal again. Because I have resist gear on, I'm taking a little bit more damage than average. Let's get this pet hasted as well. Okay, this is going down. We're in good shape. This thing's still in the way. I'm now hasted, we're in good shape. Okay, I do not usually refresh Renal every time and it's fine now, so there you go. All the gems I want to make sure go to Flux because Charisma's so high. So then I'm going to double invis myself again. Sit everybody back down. Take a little run out. I'll make Uggams the leader because his elite settings are better. Oops. This is a Ranger Axe. sucks though, so I'm not going to pull that. Oh, there's another one that's pretty fucking rare actually. There's a Scareling, which higher chance to see invis, so I always check those. If I get random aggro, I just literally put auto run on and start casting Koth, and 9 times out of 10 I'll live. Flux is unfortunately Tash right now, which means his MR is fucked up. Gorgons have a pretty high chance of seeing invis, unfortunately. This is actually going to be a good pull. So Fright Finger. The Gorgons have a stun. Somebody's saying hello to me. It's Otkar. I don't know him really. Okay, Kothing. I'm going to cast Boltrons when I feel comfortable, like right now. Immediate aggro, which is bad because of the server tick. Back, 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 back. And here we go. We pulled. Alright. Fuck no. I don't want to join forces. Keep draining. My bots. If only they were bots and they did my bidding. I already have vermiculated boots, so I will call Rot and Guild. I'm not even responding to this guy. I don't want to deal with him right now. I'm not usually a dick, only when I'm making a video. Okay, so Rune is still on, which means I didn't get beat hard enough to have it be an issue. So I'm going to double invis myself and prepare for a new pull. Kill this. It makes it last longer. There is a standard per tick MR check for charm breaking. Tash plus Mallow helps guarantee full duration charms. You gotta help people, you know what I mean? So we're gonna go out. So you just saw 2 charm pulls. You haven't seen it go poorly yet, which honestly is seriously 100% luck at this point. But you're kind of getting a feel for how, you know, this all starts to fit together. Get Flux pre-targeted so I can cast Koth with this little button here. I don't know, these guys. These guys ain't know what they're talking about, to be honest. Okay, it's fried up. Oop. We're getting fucked. So I'm going to put auto run on. Cast Koth. We're going to kite these guys out a little bit here. Hopefully I don't get feared like that, but it doesn't matter. I should be alright. And I get Kothed back. So that time it broke Rune. So I'm going to go ahead and top Uggums and then top Flux. I should have used Remedy. We'll go ahead and select Flux. Start to cast for Invis. Get Rune going. Swap to the Cleric. Get Invis to Undead going. get this shit going. We'll call rot in the zone. So no one is claimed at this point. So we have double invis on, we have rune, we're still tashed, that's okay. Everybody's sitting. The half circle is still intact. Respawn in fear is something like 2 hours, so not too bad. I would have liked to show dealing with 6 mobs, but there you go. Showing something a little different instead. Let's get this guy pre-targeted. Last time I sort of panicked and swapped to the screen, and then he was already targeted, so wasn't that important. One thing I should do is check with these guys where their group is, so I don't kite a train into them and cough it off on accident. But so either one of these Fright Fingers or the Worry Wraiths or the Gorgons see invis here, so I'm actually going to get this Gorgon. So let's get the Koth going. Or not Gorgon, this Fright Finger, because I really need that loot as well. I prefer Dictate here because it's unresistible. Hopefully Stone Breath doesn't hit me. Did it come? I don't see it. Where is it? Nope, it did not come. So what we have to do now is re-Koth as soon as we can. I move my character out a little bit. As soon as Koth hits, I can drop invis. This will drop aggro. Not too worried about that spider right now. I'm just trying to get Koth to land so I don't aggro the whole zone. And there we are. I'm going to grab this. Just going to attach it and bring it in, and then use my SK. Unfortunately, wasting rune there. Normally I wouldn't be nuking from my my mage when I'm using Koth all the time, but yeah, it's fine. One thing I noticed about items is that when you sit, it breaks item casts. It does not break spell casts. So rune 5 still intact. We're going to invis, double invis. Switch to flux, get everybody sitting, and run out. So that was what happens. So what happened there, which is not entirely obvious, is essentially when I charm Kothed, so I charmed, and then a mob hit me right as the Koth landed, and the charm pet was actually attacking a mob. As long as it's not physically, it doesn't have a target, it will warp with you. If it has a target, it will stay there and continue to attack. This, what the fuck? I've never even seen a Wandering Tentacle Tormentor. They're usually all in the box over there. Scareling doesn't see invis. Fortunately, that Fright Finger left, which sucks, but such is life. So this Gorgon's a pretty good target here. So what you have to do is spam the back button. Zap through the target flux, start to cast this, swap back to flux, watch this cast bar, try to time it correctly, and cast this. This might be too late. Got it. Back, 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 back. Okay, perfect. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. he wants those shitty boots for some reason, so... So there we go. And nothing. Let's get invis. Viz. Everybody's sitting. Let's try this again. We're pretty lucky today. I think it's probably because yesterday I thinned almost all the C and Viz mobs out, but I've been out here where there's 6 or 7 C and Viz mobs in this little field. And when they're scarelings and they aggro from far away and then things assist them, it's very hard to tell what originally was the thing that was aggroing you. So, but since I've cleared them out, it's a lot easier to just run in here and get the mobs that I want, which are Gorgons and Fright Fingers. There's something over here in this pile that sees in Viz. I'm just kind of like trying to skirt the area. Not sure what it is, to be honest. Okay, so there's a Fright Finger right there. They have reasonably large range as well. So I want to see where that thing is. I don't see the blue target ring. Might be in this little depression, which would fuck me over. Alright, we're going to try for this Gorgon here, because it's slightly easier. It's not such a good thing to have the Scareling standing here, because it can come and warp me and break the spell. But there you go. What the fuck? Oh, this is bad. I'm screwed. Whoa! That's so lucky. Oh my god, that's so lucky. I want to group heal. Nuke this thing. Get the Gorgon to attack it because it's a charm pet still. Group heal again. Move my Chancer in range for it. Get everybody still attack this thing. There we go. Alright, that's kind of brutal. So that was like a worst case scenario. Scareling attacked while I was charm pulling. It was just sheer luck that the mob came along, but that's okay. We can depend on a little bit of luck here. Just doing this kind of a dangerous pull scenario really does lend itself to wiping every once in a while, but it's nice not to have to clear fear. I have those, but they're actually good, so hopefully someone will want them in guild. If not, I'll use OOC to the zone. Gift of Pure Thoughts wearing. So I'll redo MR and then get Gift of Pure Thought going. I'm actually going to turn off the nukes from the mage. Hopefully someone will see this video and give me more hot tips on how to do charm pulls and things like that. But it's pretty helpful not to have to clear all of fear to get to these mobs. It also makes you significantly faster than even a sizable raid force. You know, people compete over these Fright Fingers and such. Not so much anymore, but still. When there's another group in here, which there still is for sure. myself pre-targeted here so I can actually deal with stuff. Tab C, Tab C, Tab C. We're on the lookout for a nasty fright finger that sees invis. We also want that fright finger, so you know, there's that. Okay. This is Fright's little building here. Got ourselves a pop, boys. So if I don't have to, I'm not going to bring the Chanter back. Just going to get this guy nuking, just check on this guy every once in a while. The double invis is really what we're worried about here. He's not required for this particular fight. Just going to keep aggroing here. I am watching the Chanter's health right here to make sure he's not like getting raped out there. I don't know why I just switched to that guy. Flux is not in it. He's not aggroed, so that's good. Gonna start a C heal. Without the mage nuking, it's a little bit slower actually. Yeah, there we go. Shaking out in biz, we're all good. Could have nuked off the end of this, but yeah, you know, not that big of a deal. Okay, so as I recall, we were right by Fright's house, little house here. It's the Gorgon Roost. Here's a stray Gorgon. This is one of the Wanderers. It's not in the static spawn. I'm going to grab... Oh, fuck. Let's see if we can get a charm off. Flux, Koth. Probably not. This might be me dying. I'm going to run. I'm slain. So this is where we take Uggams. That was poorly played on my part. I'm not going to lie about that. Make sure we have Pack Spirit going. Uggams is double invised. So that was the Fright Finger seeing invis, I believe, and casting on me, and I wasn't aware. So I'm going to go back out there and grab the corpse. You know, I wish Conjure Corpse allowed you to conjure. I would straight up spend 200 plat. I feel myself starting to appear. Don't want to fuck around with that. Skin stops tingling, so it was Invis to Undead that failed. Yeah, it was a little bit of panic. I shouldn't have. I kept trying to charm it. I should have just kited those mobs out instead of standing there. I would have lived for the Koth. But Koth takes so long to land if you haven't precast it. And another thing you'll notice, I didn't pre-target my Enchanter, so that's kind of a gross thing. Nice thing is we should be able to see. Oh, I gotta call these rot real quick. Should be able to see the green X right next to the Gorgon Roost because the Chanter's still in the zone. Even if I get aggro, my tank has a ton of hit points, so he should live. And I should have got this corpse button up on my... Alright, we're dragging. We're watching aggro to make sure that we don't have aggro. We will. Just checking to see if Fright's up or one of the other golems. I don't know if any golem can spawn at any spot. I've seen Fright there a couple of times. We can Koth at any time, and I will leave the corpse like halfway dragged and then go back and get it if I have to. Put this guy on auto run. We'll get resurrection. on the bar. And we'll corpse drop. This fucker. Get him targeted. Anyway, I'll probably end the video because it's not that interesting to watch all of Fear get pulled. But yeah, it just kind of gives you a sense of how the playstyle works out and a little taste of charm pulling as well. Catch you guys later.